Hey guys, welcome to another video, and yes, we are talking about the OnePlus 6, and I'm very pleased with OnePlus, especially after the update they made, that is HydrogenOS based on Android Pie. Now the reason I'm excited is this is the first beta. It has not even come to OxygenOS yet, and I'm yet over here just after a couple of days reviewing it. Reason being, it is an awesome piece of software. It is just amazing in every sense. I've been trying to hunt bugs, like there might be transition animation issues or some other problems or battery dependent issues. Not really, and that is the reason we are reviewing it. Now you do know I have mentioned all the new features of Android Pie in a video. I have done a full review of DP3, but those things were not as close as this one is, and I'm really excited because I think we might have a Pie release very soon, much sooner than expected, and almost all the features are working just fine. Almost, well, everything for me at least is working fine, and if you're one of those who is using Android Pie Beta 1 based HydrogenOS, mention in the comment section what error are you facing. For now, we will begin with the review, but hey, before we do, if you've not subscribed already, please subscribe and hit the notification bell icon because we do awesome stuff with smartphones over here. At the same time, here's a card to my second channel that is about motorbikes, and that is Kratos 390. Go ahead and check that channel out as well. Now, without further ado, hello awesome people. Welcome to Smartphone Tutorials. My name is Kailash. Shall we begin? Hey guys, welcome to another video, and I'm excited to review this particular ROM because OnePlus have done an excellent job with the first beta based on Android 9.0 Pie, and this of course is HydrogenOS. Now we are still waiting for the OxygenOS version to be available. I'm pretty sure it will be available very soon, but what we have over here is, let's first talk about all the things that OnePlus has to say about this awesome update. Now they do say that with Android 9.0 Pie you have a fresh new look at the user interface, and OxygenOS does look sweet with Android 9.0. You have stuff like the gaming mode 3.0, more advanced do not disturb features. At the same time, you have color customization for the accent color which you can define yourself, and there are a lot of surprises baked in as well. And what I've read from the community and what I've been using for the last 2 days, this is definitely worth a try. You should right now, in my opinion, go ahead and ditch your stable ROM and start using this because hey, there are no features that are broken. There is no problem as such in this particular ROM. Bluetooth is working, NFC is working, the camera clarity is on par with OxygenOS 5.1.11. At the same time, the battery life is almost on par with the staple ROM. There are no glitches when it comes to the user interface, or there are no lags in the user interface. The phone doesn't heat up. If you would see me moving through the user interface, the animations are very subtle, and most welcome addition is the smoothness, of course. Now OxygenOS was already very smooth, and with Android 9.0 they have further optimized it, and it is really exciting. So let's go ahead and quickly have a look at a few of the features, and then let's go ahead and talk about the things that impressed me the most. Right off the bat, if you look at this particular option over here, that is the notification bar or the notification icons, you would notice that they are now rounded. You have curves everywhere, and the launcher is now very subtle compared to how it was on Oreo. And if you are on a black theme, you would notice that the dashboard is black as well. At the same time, if you were to go to setting, and if you look at the settings sub menu, it is completely adopted to the P theme right now. That means it is much more organized, and from the beta version, of course, it carries on to something called as utilities. Now under utilities, you have all the OnePlus specific options. One of them, of course, is the gaming mode 3.0. It is now more prominent, more persistent, and the added option here is how to show notifications, which is really something I liked. For example, if you were playing a game, this is an example over here. If you were to keep heads up, this is how the notification would appear. You can choose something that is really subtle, that is text only, and this is something I really like. It doesn't really go ahead and compromise your gaming experience. At the same time, you are notified about the notification, and you can completely block the notifications as well. Apart from that, you also have all the usual stuff like answer calls via speaker. Notification for third-party calls is customizable now, so you can decide if you are getting a call from WhatsApp and all, if you want that to disturb your gaming or not. Of course, disable automatic brightness and network boost were already there, and when you launch a particular app or a particular game, you would notice that the notification is now a little different, and you have the settings available here itself. There you go. So those are all the settings that you can change. So that's everything about the gaming mode. Now let's move on to something which is more important, that is do not disturb. All right, so if you look at do not disturb now, you can directly turn do not disturb. You can decide the timing, that is all old. You can decide what kind of notifications, no sound from notifications, no visuals or sound from notifications. You can also choose custom and look at these options. Don't turn screen on, don't wake for notifications, hide notification dots, hide status bar icons and stuff like that. So that is even more customizable. And apart from that, you can make exceptions for calls, messages, other sounds, and now you can schedule to turn it on or turn it off automatically. Now if you further look into settings, some things that were missing in the earlier version have now made it to the first beta. Audio tuner, earphone mode, which I really like, phone ringtone. Now one thing about earphone mode in this particular software is that the lady who speaks with I don't know, I cannot tell you that because that only happens in earphones, is sort of in a Chinese accent. She does speak English, but it's sort of in an English accent. I really hope you can change that. But yeah, you have all the usual stuff that were available in earphone mode earlier. So that is available. And the main highlight here is, you know, if you go to display, you have all the usual options that were available earlier. You can choose the night mode, reading mode. Screen calibration is now working just fine. I use sRGB as always. Notch display is there, full screen is there. Ambient display, we still don't get a mention, or we still don't see OnePlus leaning towards adding always on display. And OnePlus, if you're watching this video, it's a request from me and a lot of enthusiasts, please add always on display for us. If you go to theme, you have light, dark, and something called as colorful instead of default. Now when you go to colorful, what exactly happens is you get the complete Android Pie look in settings. That means that it is the same white background with those colored icons to the left, and they are rounded as well. If you remember my DP3 review, they were not rounded earlier, but yes, now they are rounded. Nonetheless, let's move on to our dark theme because that is something that I like. All right, now another welcome addition here is if you go to accent color, you can choose from a set of predefined colors, but yes, you can choose from different hex arrangements as well. If you move this slider over here, you would notice that these icons are changing colors in real time. Now this is something that was not available earlier, and I'm pretty sure customization enthusiasts would really appreciate it a lot. Apart from that, you do have an option called blink light. That means you can turn on or turn off LED notifications, which was not available earlier. And under LED notifications, you have the usual stuff that was available earlier as well. Now, next thing that has changed here is, yes, of course, we have a dedicated OnePlus section, which is now known as utilities, which has all the OnePlus related features. You have quick pay, you have parallel apps. If you move to parallel apps, you would notice that almost all the messages and a few additional apps are also available now. You have schedule power on off, you have OnePlus switch that is built in, and you have pocket mode as well. Now another neat addition here, of course, is the OnePlus gestures. In DP3, OnePlus gestures were giving me a flickering issue, which is not the case anymore. They work seamlessly. And if you were to go to buttons and gestures and you go to navigation bar and gestures, you would see that you have back, home and resets, which is your usual soft keys. But if you enable this particular option over here, that is the tabbed nav bar, and you would see in the preview over here, it does show you all the shortcuts and stuff. For example, this is for multitasking, and yes, as you can see, it is scrolling smooth as butter. And trust me, from the time I have installed this particular ROM, I have not gone ahead and rebooted my device. So memory management is amazing. The smoothness on this ROM is just awesome. And this right here, guys, is the pixel based or the Android 9.0 stock navigation bar, which is now added into the default version of Hydrogen OS or Oxygen OS, whatever you want to call it, because this is eventually going to make its way to Oxygen OS as well. Nonetheless, navigation bar gestures are working flawlessly. All the OnePlus features are working flawlessly, and you have the inclusion of smart replies as well. So not only OnePlus have dropped the first beta and honestly, it doesn't really make sense to go through all the features of Android Pie. If you want to see that, well, here's a card to that particular video. Go ahead and check that video out. But for now, what I would like to mention in this particular review is, if you are looking at the next level software for your OnePlus 6, definitely go ahead and unlock the bootloader, install this software. If you want to know how to install it, once again, here's a card to that particular video. You can go ahead and check it out. But for now, what I would say is, from a camera standpoint, from a battery life standpoint, from a smoothness view or customization, new features, whatever you want to call it, Android 9 Beta 1 based on Hydrogen OS is the software you should be using. For now, that is the conclusion of this particular video. Everything has been covered, and if there's anything that I missed, guys, you know what to do. Hit the comment section and let me know. Until the next one, my name is Kailash, signing off at Smartphone Tutorials. Keep smiling. Take care.